And good afternoon, East Alabama. It is 12:42 p.m. Central, 1:42 p.m. Eastern on your Thursday, January 12, 2023, as we continue with severe weather coverage for East Alabama and West Georgia on Dr. Don's Weather. Let's zoom in and take a look. We have a new severe thunderstorm warning that's now been issued, and this is going to be for Clay County, Alabama. This is going to be for the storm that's moving through the southern sections of Talladega County. They're just to the west of Hollins, and I will read the text of this storm warning for you from the National Weather Service. A severe thunderstorm warning is now in effect for Clay County and east central Alabama until 1:45 p.m. Central. At 12:39 p.m., a severe thunderstorm, severe thunderstorms, I should say, were located along a line extending from near Sycamore to near Stewartville, moving to the east at around 55 miles per hour. The hazard with this storm is 70-mile-per-hour wind gust and quarter-sized hail. So damaging straight-line wind will be the main threat from this line of thunderstorms as it continues moving off to the east this afternoon. Let me go in a little bit closer for you, and we'll show you that the strongest part of this storm is just north of Sylacauga, and so we anticipate this particular storm to continue moving off to the east, and will most likely end up clipping the Clay County line right there near Chambers Springs, where the stair step is over on the western side of Clay County, seems to be the most vulnerable area. Even though this entire line of storms will move through East Alabama, this is where the absolute heaviest part of this storm is located at this hour. So if you are over there in extreme let's get our bearings straight here. If you're in extreme southern and eastern Talladega County and southwest and western portions of Clay County, that's where the heaviest part of this storm will move in. Now, down here on the very southern tip of all of this, there we go. Well, maybe we can. No, we can't. If you're down here in the southwestern tip of Clay County, pay very close attention to this. We could go tornadic with this storm at any moment. Anywhere east of Talladega Springs and north of Goodwater, if you're down here in the southwestern corner of Clay County, you want to pay very close attention to this. And if I'm there, I go ahead and treat this as a tornado warning. This is a significant, severe thunderstorm, and it has the capability of giving you 70-plus mile-per-hour straight-line winds, which can do just as much damage as a EF0 or an EF1 tornado. So I'm not taking any chances here. I'm going to go ahead and go to my safe place if I'm in southwestern Clay County or extreme southeastern Talladega County. Anywhere east of 280 or west of Millerville, west of Ashland, you should go ahead and go to your safe place just to be on the safe side. Even though we do not officially have a tornado warning, we do have a severe thunderstorm warning for winds 70-plus mile per hour and maybe up to 1-inch size hail. So this type of wind can cause considerable damage. That's why if I'm in southwestern or western Clay County or eastern Talladega County, I'm going to go to my safe place. Highway 148 from Sylacauga to Millerville, not a good place to be at this hour with this particular storm. Just noticing some of the comments there in the chat room. Yes, there is a tornado on the ground that has caused damage in Selma. That tornado is up in Autauga County now. So there is not a threat for a severe weather or a tornado in Selma at the moment. That tornado is now up in Autauga County, but it did cause damage back over the city of Selma, and that is confirmed. And law enforcement is asking folks to stay away from the city of Selma while they begin that recovery process down there. But the storm that caused all of that damage in the city of Selma down there in Dallas is now up here in Autauga County. It is going to move north of Autaugaville. It is going to move north of Prattville. No dangers there. Should move south of Billingsley. and should end up here in the northeastern corner of Watauga County. So you folks in Deatsville, you need to pay attention to this storm, certainly, but I think it maybe moves across 143 just a shade bit north of Deatsville. You folks over in Elmore County, places like Titus, north of Wetumpka, up there on 231. Even down in the southern sections of Coosa County, Kelly Crossroads, over toward Equality. You need to be paying attention to this storm off to your southwest. It should cross over I-65. A little bit west of Deatsville, a little bit south of the Chilton County line. I mean, it may clip the extreme southeastern corner of Chilton, the northeastern corner of Watauga, and the extreme northwestern corner of Elmore County, and even up into southern portions of Coosa County as this storm moves on off to the northeast. But that is a confirmed tornadic thunderstorm that did cause damage back over Dallas County near Selma within the last hour or so. For the rest of East Alabama and West Georgia, so far so good. That line of severe thunderstorms is still off to your west. Hasn't moved through the bulk of East Alabama or West Georgia just yet, even though we now do have a severe thunderstorm warning for Clay County. That is going to be for a severe thunderstorm with 70-plus mile-per-hour winds and up to 1 inch in diameter hail moving across the Talladega-Clay County line down there in the southeastern corner of Talladega County, southwestern corner of Clay County. A little bit further to the north, we have a severe thunderstorm warning right there along the Alabama-Georgia state line, just north of I-20 in northern Cleburne and southern Cherokee County. That's moving on over into the greater Rome area this afternoon. So you folks over there in northwest Georgia, heads up on that particular storm. As we look at North Georgia, we do have a new tornado watch now that covers Atlanta Metro all the way over to the Athens area, north up into White and Towns County, and points to the west. A handful of counties in extreme northwest Georgia have already been released from that tornado watch, but along and to the east of this line of thunderstorms is where that threat of severe weather will continue for a couple of more hours this afternoon. The good news here is we don't see any warnings in direct path with White County. We do have that warning down there around Rome, but north of that along that line, the National Weather Service is handling all of that with special weather statements, not issuing any warnings on that segment of the line at the moment. That may be good news for Lumpkin, Union, Towns, White, Hall. It certainly is an indication that the storms that are moving through North Georgia are not as significant at this moment as they are off to the southwest along that line. Of course, that could certainly change at any moment. There is a tremendous amount of lightning on the northern end of that line, and there's at least one or two hail markers up there in Fannin and Gilmer counties. That, of course, will rotate through northeast Georgia in the next hour to hour and a half. So that's the situation in North Georgia and the situation there across East Alabama at this time. Specific questions. Is Barfield going to get hail? There's no way I can tell you that for sure. I can tell you that there's a good chance you'll see hail in the Barfield area because this serious storm that's moving out of Talladega into southwestern Clay will move in that general direction toward Barfield. So if you're anywhere in Clay County, there is a good possibility that you could see damaging straight line winds and considerable damage from those straight line winds and perhaps even some large hail. So if you're inside that warning polygon, then it is certainly possible that you could see hail and damaging winds there in Clay and in eastern sections of Talladega County. So I'm going to just look through the comments right quick and see if there's anything else that I need to answer right quick. Is everything done in Anniston? Let's see. Well, you've got some more rain up there in Anniston. The rain actually stretches all the way back to Center Point. I would say that the highest threat of severe has passed through Anniston, but I wouldn't let my guard down just yet until we get the bulk of the red through the Anniston area. I think your greatest risk for seeing those damaging straight line winds or a possible tornado has just recently passed to the east of Anniston, but you're not completely out of the woods just yet. Okay, let me look and see if we have any updates on the warnings in Alabama, and we do. The National Weather Service Birmingham continues the observed tornado warning for Autauga County until 1:15 p.m. At 12:51, a confirmed large and destructive tornado was located near Vida Junction, or 12 miles northwest of downtown Prattville, moving to the northeast at 55 miles per hour. So that's up there north of Prattville, about 15 miles north of Prattville, in the northern sections of Autauga County. And that storm is going to continue to the northeast, up there in the northeast corner of Autauga County from about Deatsville north. And then it's going to move into extreme southeastern Chilton, extreme northwestern Elmore, and then eventually, if it holds together, it's going to end up in southern Coosa County, probably south of Rockford. Kellyton, question there about Kellyton. You're way downstream from this storm. But you are in that warning polygon. We do have a tornado warning now for southern and southeastern and eastern sections of Coosa County, northern Elmore, northwestern Elmore County, north of Wetumpka, south of Rockford, and from Kellyton down to about Lake Martin. Right there along the Coosa County, Tallapoosa County line, you are in that polygon of possibly receiving effects from this tornado as it moves off to the northeast. So if you're anywhere along Highway 31, there just west of Deatsville, down to about 10 miles north of Prattville, you shouldn't be on the road. If you're anywhere on 231 from Rockford to just north of Wetumpka, you should not be on the road. If you're on Highway 22, anywhere from Rockford all the way back over to I-65, you need to find a place of cover and move in off of the highway as the storm moves through. Again, if you're watching us from Autaugaville or Prattville, Millbrook, Montgomery area, this particular storm is going to move well to your north. There's no danger from this possible tornado or this confirmed tornado in those areas. This is going to be up there in northeastern Autauga County, southern Coosa County, and extreme northwestern Elmore County. And it is a pretty significant looking storm producing that tornado at this time. Storm report from Bibb County. This was on a storm at about 11:30 this morning. They are reporting trees down along Highway 219 in southern Bibb County. TDS was observed on radar at that particular time. Let me switch over to the, let's see here. Let's go look at the base velocity, and then let's go in tight on this Autauga County storm. Understand, if you're in East Alabama, in our coverage area, Autauga County isn't, but this storm could potentially affect our coverage area of East Alabama. So we're going to pay attention to it here over the next few minutes or so. And there's no question there. I mean, we know the National Weather Service is telling us it is observed. So we know we have a tornado, and there's very little doubt when you look at the velocity product. You can see it. There's the reds and the greens touching one another as this storm crosses over I-65, very close to the Alabama Emergency Management Office right there along I-65 on Highway 31. This is just barely north of where the Alabama Emergency Management Office is located there just south of Clanton. Actually, the storm is just south of where the Emergency Management Office is at, but it's moving awfully close to that location. So if you folks know where Verbena is, then this storm is just south of Verbena. If you're looking back to the southwest from Verbena, you're seeing an incredible lightning show, and the clouds just look ominous as they rotate off to the northeast. But again, heads up over here in extreme northwestern Elmore County, southern Chilton County, southeastern Chilton County, way south of Clanton, and then also southern Coosa, as this storm will be rotating in your general direction. So we zoom back out. Let's go back up to our Clay County storm. This is a severe thunderstorm warning. I just want to look right quick while I'm on the velocity product and see if I see any signs of rotation there, and I really don't. I mean, there is broad rotation, but there's broad rotation with every thunderstorm because every thunderstorm rotates. But this is not tight enough to be concerned about a tornado at the moment. I mean, that could change at any moment. So you folks in the path of this storm need to pay very close attention to this. And it looks like it's going to pass very close to Ashland, maybe between Ashland and Bowden Grove, eventually up here around, let's see here, Lineville. Let's see, Spring Hill, Ashland, Lineville, Barfield, and then if it holds together over here in Randolph County, we'd be looking at Mad Indian Creek, Fuller's Crossroads, potentially even over towards Swag and 431 from Wedowee northward is where I would expect this storm to move or cross into Randolph if it does hold together. I mean, it's going to make it into Randolph. The question is, does it maintain its strength as it moves across Clay into Randolph? Zooming back out, you can see that that's the only severe thunderstorm warning we have in the area. That storm north of I-20 up there in northern Cleburne and southern Cherokee has since moved into Georgia. So no severe thunderstorm warnings up there on the north end of the line in Alabama. We have that warning there for Clay County. And then we have that tornado warning for extreme northeastern Autauga, northwestern Elmore County, southern Coosa, and extreme southeastern Chilton County as that storm moves to the northeast. And then we have to go way down there below Camden, north of Jackson, to pick up our next warning, which is a severe thunderstorm warning down there in southwest Alabama. So I'm hearing some alerts come in. Let me go take a look and see what we have. Let's see. We have National Weather Service continues the severe thunderstorm warning for 70-plus mile-per-hour winds. And that is going to be for Clay County until 1:45. And we're getting indication of debris at 15,000 feet on our Autauga County storm. So we believe we're about to get a issue from the National Weather Service that is going to be a tornado emergency, which will be declared for Autauga, northwestern Elmore, and southern Coosa. We have debris at 15,000 feet, and this is an indication of at least an EF3 strength tornado, which can cause considerable catastrophic damage. The Weather Service is noting that this is nasty circulation crossing over I-65 there in Autauga County. If you know where the two ponds are on I-65 north of the I-65, Highway 31, Prattville exit. If you're familiar with that stretch of I-65 between Prattville and Birmingham, from about where those double ponds are that have the water wheels, from that area north up to the Chilton County line is the area that we are talking about. That's where the significant damage is taking place at this time. So some pretty strong verbiage coming from the National Weather Service on this Autauga County storm that's now crossing over into extreme northwestern Elmore County. And so we could have significant damage taking place from about Deatsville all the way up I-65 to extreme southern Chilton County, and that will continue moving off to the northeast. So I'm really particularly concerned about Titus in Elmore County. If you are north of Deatsville, anywhere on 143 north of Deatsville, if you're up here on Highway 31, Highway 231, moving up through northern Coosa County, Titus in northwestern Elmore County. You need to be in your safe place right now because this storm's headed directly toward Titus. And we have signature debris at 15,000 feet. No question, we have a tornado on the ground, and damage is occurring at this time. So here's another piece of verbiage from the Weather Service. Significant tornado on track to exit northeast Autauga County and then into northwestern Elmore County. May clip the extreme southeastern portion of Chilton County. That's exactly what I've been saying for the last 15 minutes. So if you're right there where Autauga, Chilton, Elmore all come together, this thing's right on top of you. If you're in Titus or anywhere in northwestern Elmore County, you need to be in your storm emergency evacuation location right now. If you're anywhere north of Hopeful, I would be in my evacuation safe place. If you're up here in southern Coosa County, south of Kelly's Crossroads, you need to go to your safe place. This is a confirmed tornado on the ground causing damage. Make sure that you go to the lowest floor in your home or place of business. You want to go to the center of that floor away from windows. You want to be in a hallway, a closet, a bathroom, and you want to take items with you to help protect yourself from flying debris. Items such as blankets, pillows, cushions off the couch, a mattress, a futon. If you have a motorcycle helmet, football helmet, baseball helmet, anything to protect your head, make sure that you carry your phone with you. Make sure that you take something with you to make a loud noise in the event that rescuers need to try to locate you if you are covered by debris. These are all good ideas and plans that you should have in place well before severe weather threatens your location. So let's zoom back out, look at the entire area. Again, we have that severe thunderstorm warning in effect up here for Clay County. The core of this storm now is encroaching on Ashland. We welcome those of you who are listening to us via God's Country and East Alabama's Classic. As you join us by FM radio this afternoon as we cover this severe weather for you. We don't have a tornado warning for Clay County, but this is a severe thunderstorm warning with considerable damage possible by this line of thunderstorms. We're talking 70-plus mile-per-hour straight-line winds and hail in excess of 1 inch in diameter, certainly possible, with considerable damage across Clay County as this line of storms moves off to the east. And this thunderstorm could be upgraded to a tornado warning at any moment. That's why this afternoon, if I'm in an area that goes under a tornado, or if I'm in an area that goes under a flash flood or a severe thunderstorm warning, then I treat that as though it's a tornado warning because we just don't have long-fused warnings in situations like this. You could have, even though it's a severe thunderstorm warning, you could have spin-up tornadoes all along this line. So why take the chance? Go ahead and go to your safe place. If you're in central Clay County this afternoon, And eventually that's going to work over into Randolph County. Look at this. We have a new update from the National Weather Service, and this is a tornado emergency now for northeastern Elmore County, southeastern Chilton, and eastern Coosa County. A tornado warning remains in effect until 1:45 p.m. this afternoon for northwestern Elmore, southeastern Chilton, and southeastern Coosa County. At 1:05 p.m. Central, a confirmed large and destructive tornado was located near Maubrey, or 13 miles north of Millbrook, moving to the northeast at 50 miles per hour. Tornado emergency for northwestern Elmore, southeastern Chilton, and southeastern Coosa County. This is a particularly dangerous situation. If you're in the path of this storm, you should take cover immediately. I repeat, this is a tornado emergency for northwestern Elmore, southeastern Chilton, and southeastern Coosa counties of east central Alabama. Catastrophic damage is taking place with this confirmed tornado that is on the ground. If you're in the Titus area of northwestern Elmore County, you should be in your safe place immediately. If you're up here in Equality, go to your safe place. If you're anywhere along 231 north of Wetumpka, you need to get off of Highway 231. Find somewhere to take cover. If you're south of Hyssop up here on 231 in Coosa County, you should take cover immediately. If you're anywhere in southeastern Coosa County, south of about Kellyton, you need to make sure you go to your safe place. If you're over towards Seaman, over in northern Elmore County, go to your safe place. Alexander City, you need to pay very close attention to this storm. It could very easily end up in Tallapoosa County if the storm holds together. We have no reason to believe that it won't. So our town up to Alexander City, I would stay very close to my evacuation place and be ready to take cover immediately if this warning is extended up into Tallapoosa County. You folks over here in Dadeville, Jackson's Gap, start taking note of what's happening to your southwest. Here we go again, Buxton. Here we go again, Newsite, Davidston, over in Tallapoosa County. Pay attention to what's happening to your southwest. If you're in extreme northwestern Chambers County, even up here in southeastern Clay County, southwestern Randolph County, you got to pay attention to what's happening to your southwest as we have a very large and dangerous tornado causing damage on the ground now in northwestern Elmore County, moving to the northeast. National Weather Service Birmingham continues the tornado warning for Chilton, Coosa, and Elmore. This is, again, an observed tornado. The tornado is now on the banks of the Coosa River in northwestern Elmore County. And we have a large, dangerous, confirmed, destructive tornado on the ground, again, near Maubrey, or about 13 miles north of Millbrook, moving to the northeast at 50 miles per hour. The National Weather Service issues a severe thunderstorm warning for considerable damage, 70-mile-per-hour straight-line winds, and up to 3/4-inch sized hail for Autauga, Coosa, and Elmore County. That warning is in effect until 2 p.m. This afternoon. That is going to be for another storm that is flanking that tornado storm to the southwest. So a very stormy situation unfolding now across central Alabama. All of that's going to move into east Alabama. Just checking things right quick up here in North Georgia. We're still good. We have a few special weather statements from Rome all the way back up toward Towns County for this line of storms. But this line of storms up here in North Georgia does not appear to be nearly as significant as what we're seeing down in central Alabama and now east Alabama. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning that's just been issued now for Paulding County and Haralson, as well as Floyd and Polk in Georgia. That warning is in effect until 2:09 p.m. this afternoon. So again, a very dangerous, life-threatening situation unfolding down here in central Alabama, about to move into east central Alabama. And that is a tornado that is confirmed on the ground, causing damage. Now it is going to be on the banks of the Coosa River, or very close to Titus in extreme northwestern Elmore County. Let me switch over to the base velocity and see if we can take a look. That's very noisy. Let me go grab the Atlanta radar right quick. We are on Atlanta. Let's go back to Birmingham. It'll take just a moment for that to load. And we may have to restart. So bear with me just one moment as we get this to show up for you. Lots of data coming in this afternoon. Sometimes the old computer just chokes itself out here. So let's get back over here. And now let's go back and see if we can pick out exactly where our potential, or where our tornado is. It's going to be right in this area. Yes, right there. And that is going to be just north of downtown Titus. So here are some times for you. Titus right now, Seaman in about 12 minutes, Our Town in about 24 minutes, Alexander City in less than 30 minutes. If it holds together, Jackson's Gap in 35, Dadeville in 36 minutes, up there around Daviston. Let's see, in about 50 minutes, and Frog Eye in around 52 minutes. If the storm does maintain and make it on over into Tallapoosa County and continues on the same track, then we would expect it to be right there on the Tallapoosa Chambers County line around 3:05 Eastern, around 2:05 Central. About 51 minutes, it would be up there real close to the Tallapoosa Chambers County line. And then you would expect it on up into Randolph County in about an hour and 15 minutes. So plenty of time to watch this as we continue to see these storms move into East Alabama this afternoon. We go back to the reflectivity, and we see that new severe thunderstorm warning now that covers all of Watauga County and the rest of Elmore County. So I don't want you folks to get confused. We have two warnings in effect now for Elmore County, and that's going to be a tornado warning for the extreme northwestern portions of Elmore County. And then we have a severe thunderstorm warning, which covers the rest of Elmore County for that line of storms moving through Prattville. And that severe thunderstorm warning does extend back into Watauga County. From Toggerville up to Prattville, all of you are covered under that severe thunderstorm warning. I'm going to take just a second here to take some of these watches off of the board because this gets confusing when we have so much going on. It's hard to kind of look and see what's happening. So, again, we have a tornado emergency that's underway for northwestern Elmore County. That's going to be for a confirmed tornado on the ground just north of Titus, moving to the northeast at around 50 miles per hour. That tornado now is, stand by, let me get this current, is going to be up here to the northeast of Titus, about to move over 231, right here where the Elmore County-Coosa County line intersects. So if you're up here in Equality, if you're on Highway 231 south of Rockford and north basically of the Coosa County, Elmore County line, you should be in your safe place. This is going to move right over 231 just south of Rockford, and then it's going to continue off to the northeast. Again, this is a tornado emergency for a confirmed large and dangerous tornado that's on the ground right there along the Coosa County, Elmore County line, right there on top of Highway 231. So now the National Weather Service is asking us to start talking up Alexander City. So we'll do that. If you're up here in Alexander City, go ahead and go to your safe place. Looks pretty obvious now that we're going to get a tornado warning for Alexander City. I know that we have a lot of folks who watch us in Alexander City down to Jackson Gap, Dadeville. So if you're in Tallapoosa County, anywhere from the Coosa County, Tallapoosa County line there at Kellyton, down to Alexander City, Jackson Gap, Our Town, Kalijah, Dadeville, down to Camp Hill even. Go ahead and go to your safe place. If you're Dadeville north back up to Kellyton, go ahead and go to your safe place and be prepared for this storm, as we are most likely about to get a tornado warning now for Tallapoosa County, which will include the greater Alexander City area. If you're in Hyssop, if you're in Seaman, or any location in between, you need to already be in your safe place. If you're in Alexander City, go ahead and start gathering your items and be ready to go to your safe place, or go ahead and go to your safe place. We're pretty confident that this storm is going to hold together into Tallapoosa County, up there pretty close to Alexander City, or maybe just a shade bit north. If you're on Lake Martin, if you're camping up there, if you're in a motor home, an RV, a tent, you want to go ahead and find the bathhouse. You want to evacuate those recreational vehicles and tents. You want to get in off of the lake. If you happen to be out there on a boat listening to us, you don't want to be there right now. You got to find a sturdy structure to go ahead and evacuate to if you're on Lake Martin or any of the area lakes across eastern sections of Coosa, Tallapoosa, northern Elmore. You don't want to be on the water. You folks up there on Lake Wedowee, this is not a day to be on the water, so you'd want to come in off of Lake Wedowee as well. You folks up there in Wadley, Newside, Davidston, Goldville, really start paying attention to the storm as it continues moving to the northeast. It is just downstream to your southwest, and the Weather Service is already asking us to start warning folks in Alexander City, and they haven't issued a warning just yet. So that tells me confidence level is pretty high that a tornado warning is forthcoming for Tallapoosa County, and it will include Alexander City. If the storm continues in that northeasterly motion at 50 miles per hour, it will eventually make it up into northeastern Tallapoosa and potentially even into southwestern Randolph in the next 30 minutes or so. So if you're going to take cover, and I encourage you to do so, now's the time to do it. So the tornado is now in Coosa County. The cell remains dominant within the line, so could hold together a while bit longer. So they're thinking that this thunderstorm cell that's moving into southern Coosa County is going to remain pretty strong as it moves off to the northeast. So you folks up here in Alexander City, I would go ahead and start looking at taking cover. The Weather Service is also continuing the severe thunderstorm warning for Clay County. Let me just read the text of that to you right quick. Severe thunderstorm warning remains in effect until 1:45 this afternoon for northeastern Clay County. At 1:19 p.m., severe thunderstorms are located along a line extending from Delta to Lineville, moving east at around 55 miles per hour. Hazard with this storm is 60 mile per hour wind gust, and that storm may clip the extreme northwestern corner of Randolph County as it moves on off to the northeast. The tornado warning has now been canceled for Elmore County. So if you're in northwestern Elmore County, you can come out of your safe place. All clear now for northwestern Elmore County. The National Weather Service continues the tornado warning with the possibility of catastrophic damage occurring for Coosa County. At 1:19 p.m., a confirmed large and destructive tornado was located over Speed or near Equality, moving to the northeast at 50 miles per hour. So this is confirmed. We have confirmed debris signature at about 15,000 feet. We have observation, ground truth confirmation that we have a storm on the ground. We know that this storm has a history of damage back downstream, so there's no question here, folks. This is not just an average everyday tornado warning. We know for a fact we have damage occurring. It is life-threatening, and you should take cover immediately if you are in the path of this storm. We will zoom in a little closer and give you some points of interest where you should be in your safe place right now. Anywhere along Highway 231, it's crossing over 231 as we speak. If you're anywhere north of Equality, along 259, or even on up to around Fish Pond, up to around Kellyton, or just south of Kellyton there around 280, you should go to your safe place. I anticipate a new tornado warning about to be released by the Weather Service, which will cover the Alexander City area and points to the south, down there to the Elmore County, Tallapoosa County line, Lake Martin, Kalijah, Our Town, back over toward Jackson Gap, Dadeville. You all should go ahead and go to your safe place in anticipation of a new tornado warning that should be coming out here at any moment. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning which covers the rest of Elmore County back into Autauga County for the southern flank of that line of thunderstorms, which is really intensified here just in the last 30 minutes as it moves off to the east. And we could see 70-mile-per-hour wind gust all along that line. Wetumpka, you're included in that. Just north of Whitehall, down here around just south of Selma. You had tornado damage down there earlier from this storm that's up in Coosa County. Now you've just had a nasty line of thunderstorms move through the area as well. Things should start improving for you folks down there trying to recover in Dallas County, though, as this line of storms that's just moved through Selma should be the end of the severe weather threat down there. But we have a serious life-threatening event unfolding at this hour in southern Coosa County. You see the wording right there from the National Weather Service. They are calling it catastrophic. We know for a fact that we have a tornado on the ground that is causing damage. So I am encouraging everyone from Equality up to Kellyton in Coosa County and east, take cover immediately. If you're in Tallapoosa County, from Alexander City down to Kalijah, maybe Eclectic, and then back over toward Jackson Gap, Dadeville. Be ready to go to your safe place immediately. The Weather Service is actually asking media to go ahead and start talking up Alexander City down to Dadeville. So you folks in that portion of central and western Tallapoosa County, you got to be ready to go to your safe place in the event that they do extend this tornado warning on over into Tallapoosa County. Even for you folks even further upstream over in extreme northwestern Chambers County, southern Clay County, and southwestern Randolph, you need to be paying attention to this storm. This storm has become secular. In other words, it's out there kind of running by itself. It's not competing with the other pieces of that line of thunderstorm. It has become cellular. And so it is producing that tornado. And I mean, my computer algorithm is just screaming at me here. You'll see that little tag right there, tornado vortex signature, and it's giving us an 8 out of 10. You don't see that much in Alabama. Here we go with the tornado warning for Tallapoosa County. So now the National Weather Service is including Tallapoosa County in this tornado warning. A tornado emergency for northern Tallapoosa County. The National Weather Service in Birmingham has issued a tornado warning for northern Tallapoosa County in east central Alabama. This warning is in effect until 2:30 p.m. Central this afternoon. At 1:23 p.m., a confirmed large and destructive tornado was observed near Nicksburg or near Equality, moving to the northeast at 55 miles per hour. Let me read that for you again. northern Tallapoosa County in east central Alabama at 1:23 p.m. A confirmed tornado with a destructive tornado was observed near Nicksburg or near Equality, moving to the northeast at 55 miles per hour. This is a tornado emergency for northern Tallapoosa County in east Alabama. This does include Alexander City, Lake Martin, Collegia, Our Town, Jackson's Gap, just north of Dadeville, all the way over to Budston. This does include New Site, Daviston, and if this storm holds together, and it very well could, it eventually will cover northwestern Chambers, potentially extreme southeastern Clay, and southern or southwestern Randolph County if this storm holds together. So you folks upstream in Clay, Randolph, and Chambers, you got to be watching this storm very closely as it moves on off to the northeast. If you are in central or northeastern Tallapoosa County from Alexander City down to about Dadeville and up to Daviston, go to the lowest floor in your home or place of business. If there is a basement, that's the best place to go. Make sure that you carry with you items to protect you from flying debris, such as cushions, blankets, pillows off of the couch, a futon, a baby bed mattress. Make sure that you carry something to cover your head, motorcycle helmet, football helmet, baseball helmet. Make sure that you have on hard-soled shoes. Make sure that you carry something with you that you can use to make loud noises in the event that you need to be rescued so first responders can find you. Make sure you have your phone with you. And go ahead and hunker down if you're inside of that flashing red polygon there in extreme southeastern Coosa and across portions of central and western central and north eastern Coosa, or rather Tallapoosa County, where we have that tornado emergency, which has now been declared by the National Weather Service. The tornado is on track to move in the vicinity of the southeastern side of Alexander City to near Jackson Gap. That's the latest update from the National Weather Service. They are saying, folks, this is strong verbiage, incredible storm circulation and long track tornado continues. They're talking about the storm that we're warning you about in Tallapoosa County. This is not your average run-of-the-mill everyday tornado warning. This is very serious. This is as serious as it gets. I'll put it to you that way. As this storm moves on up and will affect Tallapoosa County, really from the Tallapoosa-Coosa County line there near Kellyton all the way back down to around Dadeville. If you're inside of that flashing polygon, you need to be in your place of safety. No one, absolutely no one, needs to be traveling on 63 down there around Our Town all the way up to Alexander City. Nobody needs to be on Highway 22 from New Site all the way down to the Coosa County line. No one needs to be on Highway 280 from Kellyton down to Dadeville. You don't need to be on 49 from Jackson Gap up to New Site. You don't need to be traveling, and you don't need to be outdoors. You need to be indoors inside of a sturdy structure, protecting yourself from this storm. Folks, this is not a possible tornado. We know for a fact we have it on the ground. It has been observed. This is a very dangerous, life-threatening situation unfolding this afternoon in extreme southeastern Coosa County and about to move into Tallapoosa County of east central Alabama. I'll zoom back out and let you know that the rest of Elmore County down here is under a severe thunderstorm warning for 70-mile-per-hour straight-line winds. That extends back into Autauga County to near Prattville, and then Montgomery County now has been added with that severe thunderstorm warning, which stretches all the way back into southern Dallas County. And then the storms just continue all the way down to near Mobile this afternoon. And then we have severe thunderstorm warnings now for extreme northeastern Clay, northern Randolph from about Needham's Hill all the way up across I-20 and up into central Cherokee County. That's going to be northeastern Cleburne County, we have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect there as well. We have tornado warnings over here near Macon, Georgia, that has just popped up. So this is turning into a red letter day for East Alabama, West Georgia, and now it appears middle Georgia or southern Georgia going to get in on the action as well. So this should be taken very serious this afternoon. And if you're anywhere in the path of this storm coming out of Coosa into Tallapoosa County, you should take cover immediately. This is a catastrophic, life-threatening event that is taking place. Let me give you some times. Okay, that's not going to work. Let me close this out and restart right quick so I can give you some times on this particular storm. And this will take just a second to get it racked back up for you. There we go. And here we go. These are some times. This is going to be, that's the severe thunderstorm. Let me go see if I can grab the tornado. Here we go. All right, so here are the times. We're talking Jackson's Gap in about 11 minutes, Budston in about 23 minutes, Daviston in 26. If the storm holds together and if we issue a warning, or if we see a warning issued for Chambers County, that warning or the storm would be in Chambers County in about 27 minutes, Abanda in about 33 minutes, Dickert in about 37. We're looking at 5 Points in about 41 minutes, maybe Roanoke in 44, Holiday Park, that's way over there in West Georgia, in about 51 minutes, and O'Neill Crossroads in about 53 minutes. So you folks over here in West Georgia, you've got to start paying attention to this storm now. In southwestern sections of Heard County, western Troup County, and west central Georgia, southern Randolph County, maybe from just southeast of Wadley down there around Abanda, back up to just north of Roanoke, maybe up around Crystal Lake, and then that would extend on down into Chambers County to near Lafayette. If you're inside of that polygon, you need to pay attention to the storm. Your counties and your locations are in line to be added to this tornado warning if this storm does continue. And the Weather Service now is telling us Wind Creek State Park Campground area, those folks need to get to a substantial building. Thank you, Birmingham. We've been warning them now for about 15 minutes, telling folks at Wind Creek State Park to take cover immediately. This storm's moving right through your area. And that campground with all those tall pine trees and oak trees is the absolute worst place you could be with this storm moving through. Of course, an RV, camper, tent, no match for this type of weather. You're committing suicide if you stay out there. I mean, I know that's strong verbiage, but folks, that's where we are this afternoon. If you're at Wind Creek State Park or anywhere along Lake Martin this afternoon, you need to seek shelter immediately. And so now we're being told that Birmingham plans to add Randolph County. Birmingham... Let's see. I think that's a question from a meteorologist. Birmingham. Let's see. Okay, so that was a question from a particular member of the media. They were asking if we felt like Birmingham was going to add Randolph to the warning. And then so Birmingham's response to that is we will see how it behaves through Tallapoosa County. The storm still has a dominant structure in the line, but we'll see how it goes since there is some line interaction. So they're kind of watching this storm to see if the line of thunderstorms itself is going to start interacting with that circulation and maybe degrade it some. We certainly hope that happens, but so far it hasn't. So you folks up there in Randolph County, the question's already been posed to the National Weather Service if they anticipate extending that warning on up into Randolph and Chambers. And the answer to that question is the Weather Service is watching it very closely, and they will make that decision probably in the next 10 minutes or so. But if you're up here in Alexander City, the core of this storm is going to pass just a little bit to your south, down there right along 63 at Lake Martin. That's where the core of this storm is. That's where the tornado would be at this hour as it moves into Tallapoosa County this afternoon. So if you're on Highway 280 anywhere from Dadeville up to Alexander City, I don't know what to tell you. You shouldn't be there. You need to find somebody's house. Go knock on a door. See if they'll let you inside. You don't need to be out there on any roadway between Dadeville and Alexander City as this storm moves over the Lake Martin area. It'll cross over 280 there just to the west of Jackson Gap, and then it will continue on up to the northeast. It'll cross over 49, probably just a handful of miles south of New Site. And then it's going to come very close to Daviston, maybe a mile or two south of Daviston. It'll end up over here in northwestern Chambers County. I would go ahead and tell you folks in Milltown, Shiloh, even down here around Pennon, to really pay close attention to this storm as it moves across Tallapoosa County, Clarksville, up here in Randolph County, from Dickert back over to Roanoke. I think the storm's going to stay a little bit south of Wadley. You're going to have a line of storms move through Wadley, but I think the tornado portion of this line may stay a little bit south of Wadley as it moves on off to the northeast. 5 points north of Lafayette, Roanoke. You need to be paying attention to this storm. It is holding together pretty good. It had become singular in that it was pretty much a supercell thunderstorm out there operating by itself with no resistance from any other weather systems. Now the line is catching up to it, and so the line is beginning to interact with the tornadic portion of that thunderstorm a little bit, and we're really hoping that that will calm this storm down some, but so far it has not. So if you're in the path of this storm in Tallapoosa County, and if you're upstream in southwestern Randolph, northwestern Chambers, you need to be prepared to go to your safe place immediately if a warning is issued for your area. Now, the rest of Tallapoosa County, down here around Dadeville and down into Tallahassee, you're covered by a severe thunderstorm warning for wind gust of up to 70 miles per hour. Hey, that's a small tornado in itself. Anywhere along this line of thunderstorms, it's moving through Eclectic now, probably about 10 minutes away from Dadeville, probably about 20 minutes away from Tallahassee. So the weather's going to get rough regardless of where you are in East Alabama this afternoon. And that severe thunderstorm warning continues all the way back toward Wetumpka in Elmore County. Lee County, heads up, you're probably about to get a severe thunderstorm warning. Chambers County from Lafayette south likely will get a severe thunderstorm warning. From Lafayette north, it is possible that you'll get a tornado warning. Northern Randolph County is already under a severe thunderstorm warning from Wedowee all the way up there to around Newell. It's raining cats and dogs up there at Newell right now. Very heavy hail just north of the Randolph County, Cleburne County line up there around Ranburne Stadium. So downtown Ranburne's getting clobbered right now, and that covers the entire corner of northwest Randolph County. So Roanoke, you're in line for a tornado warning. If this storm holds together, at the very least, you're going to get a severe thunderstorm warning here in the next 30 minutes or so. And then even further upstream, places like Carroll County, down into Hurd, Troup, and Harris, you've got to deal with this line of severe thunderstorms before the afternoon is over. We're coming up on 1:39 p.m. Central, 2:39 p.m. Eastern. You're watching live severe weather coverage on Dr. Don's Weather. We'll go up here and take a look at North Georgia. The good news here is we have no severe weather across North Georgia at the moment. The closest severe warning that we have is a severe thunderstorm warning that is in place for eastern Polk County. Actually, that has been canceled. Let's see what we have in effect. Paulding and Bartow remain under a severe thunderstorm warning until 2:45, so that's about another 5 minutes or so for that warning up there northwest of downtown Atlanta. The rest of this line is being covered by special weather statements from the National Weather Service. It's just not as strong up here in northeast Georgia as what we have been noticing back over in Alabama and down south of Montgomery. And so all of this severe weather in East Alabama should stay well south of northeast Georgia. Even though we got a lot of thunder and lightning out there, I mean, up across Towns County, back into Union and Lumpkin County, even northern White County now, picking up a good bit of thunder and lightning. There could be certainly be some hail up there. But no tornado warnings. The closest severe thunderstorm warning is just north of Atlanta, and that'll continue moving on off to the east. The significant weather, without question, is still in Alabama from northern Cleburne County down to about Wedowee and Randolph, back over to around Bartville and Delta and Clay. And then we have that tornado emergency that is underway in Tallapoosa County for a confirmed large destructive tornado on the ground, crossing over Highway 280 just to the south and east of downtown Alexander City. If you're anywhere between Dadeville and Alexander City, you should have already been in your place of safety. And you folks upstream, up there around Newsite, Daviston, Budston, and all points in between, you should be in your safe place. If you're in northwestern Chambers County from Milltown back over to Abanda, down to around Pennon, you need to be prepared and ready to go to your safe place. Even southern Randolph County from Dickert back over to Roanoke, up to around Weehadkee, you need to be prepared to go to your safe place in the event that this tornado warning is extended further to the east. And we should know something here pretty quick if the Weather Service is going to do that. So let me see if we have any updates from the Weather Service. The National Weather Service continues the tornado warning. This is an observed tornado. Tornado damage threat is considerable, up to 1 inch and 3/4 inch size hail for Tallapoosa County. At 1:39, that was just a couple of minutes ago, a confirmed large and extremely dangerous tornado was located over northern Lake Martin or near Alexander City, moving to the northeast at 55 miles per hour. We're getting reports of heavy damage in the Titus community of Elmore County. Kelly Crossroads and Elmore County also reporting heavy damage. Those are locations we were warning you out ahead of this line about 30 minutes ago to take cover. So now we have confirmed damage in those communities. The Weather Service also continues a severe thunderstorm warning with large hail and damaging straight-line winds for Dallas, Lowndes, and Montgomery counties. Let's see here. All right, so we're getting a little bit of information from the Weather Service. They're telling us that some of the winds associated with the line of storms that has now caught up to the tornado-producing storm in Tallapoosa County may be beginning to interrupt the tornado a bit. Tornado's still ongoing per radar, but the intensity has knocked down a couple of notches as the tornado crosses over 280 near Jackson's Gap. So what's happening here, folks? This supercell thunderstorm got out ahead of that line of thunderstorms, but just in the last 15 or 20 minutes, the line has caught up with this supercell thunderstorm, and so the straight line winds associated with that squall line is now disrupting the veering that's taking place in the upper levels of the atmosphere, which may slow down that rotation, which could dissipate the tornado. Now, we still have strong indications that we still have a tornado on the ground right now, but the Weather Service is giving us a heads up that we may be beginning to see the end of the tornado that is currently on the ground as it crosses over 280 between Alexander City and Dadeville. Still, nonetheless, you folks up here in especially Davidson. If I'm in Newsite, I'm going to go to my safe place to be on the safe side because you got straight line winds coming at you at 60 to 70 miles per hour. That can cause damage. If I'm in Daviston, I go to my safe place because this is coming directly at you. It may pass a couple of miles south of Daviston, but for the most part, it will be in that area in about 15 or 20 minutes if the warning holds together. Anywhere between Budston and Daviston in eastern Tallapoosa County, you should be in your safe place. And from that area all the way back to around Jackson Gap, you should be in your safe place. Highway 49 from Jackson Gap all the way up to New Site, that's a no-go, folks. You should not be traveling that highway at the moment. That the storm's going to pass over 49 about halfway between Jackson Gap and New Site as it moves on off to the northeast. We're getting reports of possible injuries now in Coosa County from the Coosa County Sheriff's Dispatch. Again, that's just more confirmation that we actually do have a tornado on the ground. It's been observed. I mean, we've put eyes on this thing, so we know that it's there. We hope that you folks downstream or upstream from this storm will take this very seriously. Zooming out to give you a look at the big picture once again, we have severe thunderstorm warnings for Carroll County now over in Georgia and extreme northern Heard County north of Franklin. Severe thunderstorm warnings from about from about Needham's Hill or Rock Stand north in Randolph County. That would include Wedowee, Woodland, Newell, and points north back over toward Fuller's Crossroads. Severe thunderstorm warning for extreme southeastern Cleburne County. That storm's about to move on into Carroll, so Cleburne will be released here shortly. Severe thunderstorm warning continues. Actually has been canceled now for Clay County. So all but the extreme southeastern corner of Clay County, we can pretty much call the severe weather threat over for Clay County. So for those of you that may be listening to us on God's Country and East Alabama Classic Rock Giant, good news for you there in Clay, back over in Talladega, down into central and western sections of Coosa, even into Chilton and St. Clair and Shelby. The severe weather threat has ended for places like Talladega, Sylacauga, Rockford. I would even say that the severe weather threat has ended for Lineville and Ashland. Again, all but the extreme southeastern corner of Clay, pretty much in the clear now from the threat of severe weather. As soon as this line moves through Randolph County that prompted the severe thunderstorm warning from about Wedowee north, then your severe weather threat will end as well. Down here on the south end, though, a little different story, especially if you're in Roanoke, back over to around Dickert, or anywhere from Lafayette North and Chambers. You got to watch this storm over here in Tallapoosa County, as it could end up clipping extreme northwestern Chambers. It could end up in southern Randolph. Anywhere from about Dickert off to the east to Roanoke or even up to Wehatkee, if it holds together. Again, we're getting some indication here that the line of thunderstorms has caught up with this tornadic producing thunderstorm and may be in the early stages of deteriorating the circulation in that storm. But for the moment, we still see it on radar. We still have confirmation that it's on the ground. They're just north of 280, bearing down on Daviston, Alabama, up there in the northeastern corner of Tallapoosa County. Just bear with me 1 second here. All right, so Birmingham continues the tornado warning for Tallapoosa County at 1:48 p.m. Confirmed tornado was located near Jackson Gap or near Dadeville, moving to the east at around 55 miles per hour. So I'm going to attempt to do something here. Bear with me 1 second. We're going to take that down, and then we're going to go up here. And we're going to add our White County, Georgia social media pages. Because I need to update our North Georgia partners on what is taking place up here in northeast Georgia. Right quick before I do that, brand new severe thunderstorm warning now for Chambers County. So that's the entire county is now under severe thunderstorm warning, and I'll come back to that in just a few moments for you folks in East Alabama. But let me show you what's happening up here in North Georgia. We welcome those of you who typically watch us over on our White County, Georgia page. our social media there on our Facebook and our YouTube pages. I just want to kind of show you what's going on. The good news here is we have no severe weather warnings up here in North Georgia. We do have a line of strong thunderstorms stretching from about Hiawassee back down to around Dahlonega, and then that continues off to the southeast. The closest severe weather warning we have at the moment is a severe thunderstorm warning down here around Carrollton, and that stretches on back into East Alabama. But the good news here is we may have a little hail up there in some portions of eastern Union County. That could slip over into northern White County up there north of Helen, up across the mountain range. And lots of thunder and lightning, no question there. But we don't have any tornado warnings, and we don't have any severe thunderstorm warnings up here in North Georgia at this hour. We do remain under a tornado watch, which officially is in place till about 7 o'clock this evening. I think we'll be released from that well before 7 p.m. this evening. I know it's about time for school to release. At the moment, we do not have any warnings in place across White County, so I would encourage our school systems across northeast Georgia to follow your normal protocol, whatever that is, for inclement weather situations, even though we have no warnings in place now. Until this line passes White County, it is certainly possible that we could see a severe thunderstorm or a quick spin-up tornado. So you got to take all that into consideration when deciding what to do with school release. Parents, be patient. Schools have a very tough decision to make in situations like this, and it's not always best to release school early because then you send children home unsupervised, and you run the risk of sending buses out there on the roadway. It takes them a couple of 2 or 3 hours to get everybody home. So there is no great solution in times like this. You have to take the course of least regret, and if your school system decides that the safest thing to do is to hold your children until that threat passes, then so be it. They're much safer inside that school building than they are out there on the buses or in automobiles trying to get to the house before the storm hits. So that's kind of the situation we have now in North Georgia. Again, the line of thunderstorms moving through up there in Towns County, extreme eastern sections of Union County, moving through central Lumpkin County there around Dahlonega, and beginning to move into White County. Again, lots of thunder and lightning, going to be very windy. We could even see some periods of hail. But at the moment, all of these storms are below severe limits. We do remain under a tornado watch until this line moves through, so all of this could certainly change at any moment. So that's the update from the White County Public Safety Office this afternoon on our severe weather situation across North Georgia. So we're going to stand by for just 1 second and disconnect our feed over on the North Georgia side, and we'll continue with our situation across East Alabama, where we have a tornado emergency currently underway in Tallapoosa County, Alabama. Okay, we're back over on the East Alabama, West Georgia side of our severe weather coverage this afternoon, and I just want to kind of bring you up to date on what we've got going on. Let's go straight back down to Coosa County because that's where the most dangerous situation is unfolding at this hour. We continue with a tornado warning. Let's see if we have any updates. So they have downgraded the situation from a tornado emergency. So the Weather Service is telling us Tallapoosa County no longer with a tornado emergency. And they're telling us there may still be a small tornado ongoing, but they think it's weakening. So that's where we're at right now. So we may lose this tornado warning in just a few moments down here in Tallapoosa County. It's very close to Budston, maybe a little bit south of Daviston. You can see how it kind of wraps up, and you got that inflow notch down here right at Budston. So anywhere between Budston and Daviston, take cover just to be on the safe side. If we still have a tornado ongoing down here, it most likely is much smaller than it was a few moments ago. At one point, and I think we're going to see this in the aftermath, we had most likely an F3 tornado on the ground. Coming through Coosa and western sections of Tallapoosa County. That signature, though it is still there, is not as strong as it was, and if we still have a tornado occurring, it's probably going to be in around the F0 scale at this hour. But that's still significant if it runs across your front yard. So if you're between Davidston and Budston, you want to go to a safe place. If you're over here in northwestern Chambers, pay attention to this, even you folks in southern Randolph. But I think this storm is in the process of losing its tornado signature, and I think probably what we're going to end up seeing, and we've already seen a severe thunderstorm warning for all of Chambers County. We may end up getting a severe thunderstorm warning for southern Randolph as well, and we may not. Roanoke may escape this pretty good here, as that section of the line between the Chambers County line and just south of Wedowee doesn't look quite as significant as what we're seeing over here in northeastern Tallapoosa and about to move into Chambers. Chambers, you're dealing with two different storms. That one that's producing the possible tornado, and then that Boeing segment of the line a little bit further to the south that's coming in right there along 280. So two different areas of concern there moving into Chambers County and moving through southern Tallapoosa County down there around Reeltown on down to around Tallahassee. So Birmingham issues a tornado warning. Now for Chambers and Randolph. They have decided to go ahead with a tornado warning for Chambers and Randolph. This is an observed tornado. Until 3 p.m. At 1:56 p.m., a tornado-producing thunderstorm was located 7 miles west of Trammell Crossroads, or 10 miles northeast of Dadeville, moving to the east at around 55 miles per hour. So there you go. Sirens are going off in the city of Roanoke. Sirens are going off down there in Lafayette. And if you're over here in western Chambers County, from Marcoot up to Pennon, up to Milltown, even up here in Abanda, even though you're not officially in the polygon, I would go ahead and go to a safe place, because you're going to get straight line winds, whether it's produced by the line of storms or whether it's produced by the tornado. It really doesn't matter. Wind is wind. So if you're anywhere in southern Randolph, northern Chambers, go to your safe place. The tornado polygon basically is going to be from Roanoke down to just north of Lafayette, maybe down there around Buffalo, is where we would expect the tornado to track. You don't want to be on 77 going through Pennon back up toward Wadley. You don't want to be on 431 north of Lafayette headed toward Roanoke. I apologize, folks. I've been talking nonstop for 2 hours, and I had to grab a drink of water right quick. But anyway, what I was saying is, if you're north of Lafayette in Chambers County, basically if you are Roanoke and south up here in Randolph County, you need to go ahead and take cover immediately. We have two things we're concerned about here. We have that tornado-producing thunderstorm, which we know for a fact was on the ground at one time, and the verbiage on the last warning we just received also indicates that this is an observed tornado. So we have to assume that a spotter is still reporting that this tornado is still on the ground as it moves into northwestern Chambers and could potentially end up in southern Randolph County, anywhere from Roanoke, out Highway 22 to Rock Mills, and back over toward Wehatkee, down toward the Lime community, down there around Standing Rock in Chambers County, Highway 109 from Welch going back over into Troup County. You don't need to be riding in a vehicle there. You don't need to be on 77. It's about to move into the Pennon area. You don't need to be on Highway 431 from Lafayette all the way up to Roanoke. Storing pretty good up there in Wadley, Corinth, up there around Southern Union State Community College. You're getting some storms up there at the moment, but that is not part of the tornado. But you got straight line winds up there, and that could be just as damaging as the winds that are produced by the tornadoes. So you got to be careful even up there in southwestern Randolph County. I'd go my safe place just to be on the safe side. What's it going to hurt? Just in the event that you were to get some damaging straight line winds up there that cause some major damage. Let me zoom back out and let you know that south of Lafayette's under a severe thunderstorm warning for that line that's moving through, not the tornado-producing thunderstorm. And then we have very heavy storms moving through southern Tallapoosa all the way down to around Reeltown and Tallahassee. Elmore County, yeah, you've got some heavy storms there around Eclectic. And then the thunderstorm warnings pick up again there in Montgomery County and continue on off down to around Fort Deposit. We have a severe thunderstorm warning now for Carroll County in west central Georgia. Tornado warning continues there just north of Macon over in central Georgia. And then again up here in northeast Georgia, Cleveland, back over toward Dahlonega. It is storming pretty good right now. Nothing severe. We have no warnings in effect for any of our northeast Georgia counties. You folks maybe up there in North Georgia that's watching us over on our East Alabama feed. Really heavy rain up there in Helen, stretching all the way back down to around Dahlonega. But again, that is the Weather Service is not a warning for it. They're telling us it's not severe at this moment. The only tornado warning that we have in effect right now is going to be for northern Chambers and southern Randolph in east central Alabama. And just as soon as the Weather Service cancels or lets this warning expire, we are going to be ending our severe weather coverage. May have to anyway to take care of duties here in my area of coverage. We're monitoring that now to see if we start getting any severe weather effects up here in White County, Georgia. If that does start to happen, then I could have to leave this feed pretty quickly. Just looking at a couple of different products, and we still see that tornado there in extreme western Chambers County, very close to Shiloh. That's where the rotation is taking place now, just maybe a shade bit south and southwest of Shiloh, to the southwest of Milltown, and that's going to continue moving toward 5 Points. I think between 5 Points and Roanoke will be where this tornado will eventually track as it moves across northern Chambers County. Again, we have a tornado debris signature showing up again on that storm that's in Chambers County. That's the reason they went ahead and pulled the trigger on reissuing that tornado warning. This storm has been producing a tornado now for well over an hour. It started back down in Autauga County well over an hour ago. And this thing has been producing a large, dangerous, long-lived, long-track tornado across central Alabama, now into east central Alabama, to a point now just east of Shiloh and just west of Highway 431. Again, 5 Points in Chambers County, Pennon, 5 Points. This storm is going to affect your particular area. Crossing over, or it will be crossing over Highway 77 here pretty much at any moment. Let me switch over to the base velocity. Yeah, there's your storm right there. So just to the southwest of Pennon is where we would put this tornado, just south of Shiloh. Let me attempt to do a couple of things here. And what we're going to do is tell you that the tornado, the confirmed tornado, is about 4.2 miles southwest of Pennon. Now, understand radar images sometimes are a couple of minutes behind, so you folks in Pennon need to be in your safe place right now. This storm's headed right to you, Miss Cecilia. It's going to cross over Highway 77 very close to downtown Pennon. So you want to make sure you're in your safe place as this storm heads that way. Let me start talking some roads here. County Road 123, Chambers County Road 53, County Road 54, County Road 112. These are all county roads that are in the path of this tornado as it moves through very close to downtown Pennon now as it continues off to the northeast. You all know where Rock Fence Farm is there in Chambers County. The storm's going to come very close to Rock Fence Farm. It may cross over 77 right there at Pennon and then cross over County Road 158 between Rock Fence Farm and White Plains as it continues on off to the northeast. Down or upstream, Chambers County Road 258 needs to start taking cover. 232 should take cover. County Road 231 should take cover. You folks up here in Stroud, 5 points, all the way down to White Plains along Highway 431, you should be going to your safe place at this time. Yes, even up there in Standing Rock, I would go ahead over here in Standing Rock, right on the Chambers County, Troup County line. I would go ahead and take cover there as well. Bacon Level in Randolph County. I apologize there. From Bacon County, Bacon Level down to around Standing Rock, I would go ahead and start going to my safe place. It looks like the track of this is probably going to stay just south of Roanoke and maybe even south of Rock Mills. But if you're in Roanoke, if you're in Rock Mills, if you're up here in Weehadkee, you need to be paying very close attention to this storm as it rotates to your south. But again, if you're in Pennon, if you're back over here toward 5 Points, Stroud, Standing Rock, up to Bacon Level, anywhere along 431 from Welch all the way down to 5 Points, Rock Fence Farms, you need to be in your safe place as this storm continues to move through Chambers County. We'll take it back over here to the reflectivity. Storming. I mean, it is literally coming a massive storm there in northern Chambers County. You're looking at 181 lightning strikes, and just about every last one of them in Chambers County at this time. You got a few up here in Randolph and a few down here around Lafayette, but the overwhelming majority of that 180 some odd lightning strikes in the last 2 minutes is occurring right there around Pennon. This is an amazing electrical storm output here. No doubt there's going to be some issues with lightning strikes, probably some house fires in that area. I hope not, but with that kind of lightning, that's exactly what one would expect with that type of lightning output in a storm. And there's just no question here that this thing is still bowing. There's still a good indication that we have a tornado within this storm. The Weather Service cancels the tornado watch for several counties over in West Alabama. They've canceled the tornado warning for Tallapoosa County. They have canceled the tornado watch for Calhoun, Cherokee, Chilton, Coosa, and Talladega. So if you're in those counties, you're in the clear. We continue the tornado watch for Autauga, Dallas, Elmore, Lowndes, Montgomery, and we continue the tornado watch for Barber, Bullock, Chambers, Clay, Cleburne, Lee, Macon, Pike, Randolph, Russell, and Tallapoosa in Alabama. National Weather Service office is reporting Montgomery, Danley Field, reporting wind gust of 54 knots as the line of thunderstorms moved through there. I was just looking to see if we had anything else, but that's it. But once again, we have a dangerous situation ongoing here across Chambers County now, from Penn, Alabama, back up to the northeast across northern Chambers and now northeastern Chambers. And I know you folks are asking questions and you're posting left and right, but it's just impossible when we get into this type of event. It's impossible to answer all of those questions while we're doing live wall-to-wall coverage. So we're keeping an eye on North Georgia. I know a lot of folks watch us over on our East Alabama channel for North Georgia. We're keeping an eye on White County. The line is moving into White County now. Good bit of lightning up there around Helen and north of Cleveland, but no warnings. We have no warnings up here. For White County, Georgia. The closest warning is down here in Carroll County, Georgia, in west central Georgia, just to the west of downtown Atlanta. Though we've got a pretty strong thunderstorm moving through North Georgia that's going to dump a lot of rain in a short period of time, and a lot of lightning flashes taking place there just north of Cleveland as well. The one thunderstorm that just won't go away, that has been producing a tornado now, confirmed tornado, for well over an hour, is now in Chambers County, Alabama. It is just to the west of 5 Points. It has already crossed over 77, and we still have a very strong indication that we do have a tornado ongoing there. Switch back to the base velocity there. You see it, no question about it at all. That's going to be just to the west and southwest of 5 Points. At this hour. If we run a line on that, we'll tell you that the circulation now is going to be, it's right there at 5 Points. I mean, like within a couple of miles of downtown 5 Points, right there on Highway 431. So if you're in 5 Points, Alabama, you should be in your safe place. This thing's coming right over on top of you. It's going to come very close to my good buddy Jeff Monroe at the East Alabama Bee Company down here at 5 Points. If you folks are listening to us at the East Alabama Bee Company, you want to take cover as this storm is coming pretty close to your location there in 5 Points, Alabama, just west, or just east, I should say, of downtown 5 Points. I think the center of circulation may stay just a shade bit south of Stroud. I think it'll stay just a little bit south of Standing Rock, barely. So I think it's going to end up over here just south of Stroud, and it'll cross into Troup County. Maybe. It looks like it's probably going to cross over 109. Just inside the Chambers County line, if it holds together, and it is showing every sign that it's going to. So I see no reason for this thing to go away anytime soon. And with that last volume scan, I'll put Standing Rock back on the radar and tell you that if you're in Standing Rock, go to a safe place immediately. We have a brand new tornado warning now for Troup County, Georgia, and for southern Heard County, Georgia. This is going to be for that tornado over there crossing 431 at 5 Points as we speak. So let me read the text on this warning for you folks in West Georgia. National Weather Service in Peachtree City has issued a tornado warning for southeastern Heard County in west central Georgia and Troup County in west central Georgia. This warning is in effect until 4 p.m. this afternoon. At 3:13 p.m., severe thunderstorm capable of producing both tornadoes and extensive straight-line wind damage were located over 5 Points or near Stroud, moving to the east at 60 miles per hour. So once again, there is a new tornado warning. This is also going to capture extreme southeastern Randolph County. So you folks up here from Rock Mills down to Bacon Level over to Macocius Mill, you need to be in your safe place. This does not include the city of Roanoke at this time. And let's see if we can get the text of this warning to populate. I'll just read it to you off of the website here right quick. So the National Weather Service in Birmingham continues a tornado warning now for Chambers, southeastern Randolph until 3 p.m. At 2:11 p.m., a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located over 5 Points or near Stroud, moving to the northeast at 60 miles per hour. And we do have a small tornado debris signature just west of 5 Points, it does look like. So, again, this does not include the city of Roanoke. I know the sirens are probably blaring there in Roanoke, but this is not going to, the tornado section of this thunderstorm is not going to affect downtown Roanoke. This is going to be over in southeastern Randolph and northeastern Chambers. Probably Bacon level back down to Macocius Mill and then down to Standing Rock as far as our Alabama counties are concerned. Right now, the storm has just crossed over 431 between 5 Points and Stroud, and it continues on off to the northeast. Let me give you some reference points here on where we believe the storm is located at this time. Chambers County Road 433, Chambers County Road 282, bear with me a second. We've got multiple things happening here on the screen. Let me clear that. Let me go back now. County Road. Bear with me. Here we go. County Road 281. Chambers County Road 282. County Road 268. County Road 274. That thing's right on top of you right now. County Road 283. If I've called out your road number, you need to be in your safe place right now. Now it's going to continue on over into Troup County as well. North State Line Road. Deer Point Road. This is in Troup County, Georgia. Williams Road, and of course down here on Highway 109, north of 109, up to the Heard County line, should be ready to go to your safe place as you are now under a tornado warning there in southern Heard and across central and northern Troup County. And again, very good signature of a tornado here. It is crossing over Chambers County Road 282, right there at the intersection of 282 and 281. So that's where the storm is crossing Chambers County Road 282, right there at the intersection of 281. That's where it is at the moment. Again, we don't anticipate any problems in Roanoke, but extreme southeastern Randolph County, northeastern Chambers, northwestern Troup, extreme southern and southwestern Heard County. That's where this tornado will cross as it moves on off to the northeast. And I'll just draw a little line here. So that area up to that area needs to take cover. That's where we would expect that storm to move. So let me switch back over to the reflectivity. I mean, it's storming big time up there in Roanoke and just north of Roanoke all the way up to Woodland. The rest of Chambers County is just getting walloped with heavy rainfall, thunder, and lightning. No question there. We have a severe thunderstorm warning now that's going to cover the rest of Troup County. It's going to cover portions of Harris County, and it gets all the way down there the to the Lee County line. It does cover Lynette Valley, West Point. That's all severe thunderstorm for straight line winds that'll be moving through your area. I mean, coming in on Lynette and Valley right now. And then we have that tornado warning for the extreme northeastern corner of Chambers up there around Standing Rock, from Stroud back up to Standing Rock. And then that storm's going to move into extreme northwestern Troup and southern Heard County as it continues on over into Georgia. Just as soon as we get this thunderstorm out of our Alabama counties, we are going to stop our live coverage for just a few moments so that I can check on things up here and gather more information, see if there have been any reports of damage across other portions of East Alabama. I'm going to be surprised if there has not been. We know that we have damage back over around Alexander City and back across Coosa County. And I'd be willing to bet we have damage in other parts of Tallapoosa and Chambers just based upon what we're seeing here. Particularly dangerous situation, tornado warning now for Chambers County. National Weather Service office out of Birmingham has issued a tornado warning for an observed tornado. Damage threat is considerable, up to 1.5 inch diameter hail for Chambers and Randolph County. At 2:20 p.m., a confirmed large and extremely dangerous tornado was located over Standing Rock or near Stroud, moving to the northeast at 55 miles per hour. So they have upped their verbiage on this back to just as significant as it was when it came into Tallapoosa County. So this is now a particularly dangerous storm, tornado warning for Chambers County. This is an observed tornado very close to Standing Rock or near Stroud, moving to the northeast at 55 miles per hour. This could clip the extreme southeastern corner of Randolph County. Right there where Randolph, Chambers, and Troup and Heard all come together is where this storm is at this time as it moves on off to the northeast. Roanoke, I know it's storming like crazy at your house, but the tornado is south of you. Rock Mills, I know it's storming like crazy, but this rotation is just south of you. Down there, Bacon Level, down to Standing Rock, back over toward Macocius Mills. That's where the danger is from this tornado. Franklin, I know it's raining there, but this storm is well south and west of you. It's probably going to ride right along the Troup County, Heard County line as it moves on off to the northeast. But a very dangerous setup now in extreme southeastern Randolph and northeastern Chambers County from a confirmed tornado. We have a debris signature up at 10,000 feet in the atmosphere, which tells us that we have a tornado on the ground causing significant damage in the Standing Rock area of Chambers County as it moves on off to the northeast. Now let me zoom back in right there at Standing Rock. From Standing Rock back up to Macocius Mills, back up to around Bacon Level is the area of greatest concern for this confirmed tornado that is on the ground. Just bear with me. From time to time, I'm having to check to see if we have any issues in other locations, including up here in northeast Georgia. I don't see anything of great significance. We do have a special weather statement for White County, Georgia, for gusty winds and dangerous lightning and heavy rainfall as this line moves through, but nothing like what we're seeing down there in East Alabama and West Georgia right now. We have a particularly dangerous situation underway with a confirmed large and very dangerous tornado confirmed on the ground now, should be just north of Standing Rock in extreme northeastern Chambers County, extreme southeastern Randolph County. If you're up here in Glenn, Georgia, that's going to be in southern Heard County or extreme northwestern Troup County, well north of downtown LaGrange. That is where the possible tornado will track. Now, you folks down here in LaGrange, you're under a severe thunderstorm warning. And officially, you're under the tornado warning. But I got to tell you, this particular tornado, will stay well to your north. You do have a very nasty storm over there on the western side of Troup, out there on 109 near Holiday Park. Between Holiday Park and Long Cane, that will move right over downtown LaGrange, and it is a significant storm, and there certainly could be some damaging straight-line winds in excess of 60 or 70 miles per hour with this storm coming in out there around Lee's Crossing there in LaGrange. So if you're in LaGrange, you want to take the course of least regret. I certainly would go ahead and go to my safe place, because that is a nasty-looking storm. And if it's not producing a tornado, it certainly could with very little or no warning. But the confirmed tornado that we have on the ground that is causing damage, now moving right across the Alabama-Georgia state line just north of Standing Rock, clipping extreme northwestern Troup, extreme southeastern Randolph, moving on up there into extreme southern Heard County. Should stay very near or just south of Denver. That's in Heard County. It should stay well south of Franklin. It will continue on over to the northeast, running right along the Troup County, Heard County line, and then ending up, I believe, probably somewhere between Luthersville and Moreland. I think it will stay south of Noonan if this storm holds together. And you guys over here around Peachtree City down to Harrelson, Georgia, you got to pay attention to this storm. This thing has been producing a tornado now for almost 2 hours across central and east Alabama. And even though we thought the main squall line was going to catch up with it and degrade the supercell thunderstorm, it's held together remarkably well and is still producing. As a matter of fact, we have as good, if not better, a tornado signature on this storm right now as we have had the entire cycle of this tornado. We're talking about a vortex signature of 11. The highest I saw earlier was an 8. So this is a very significant storm, and I wouldn't be surprised if we don't catch another tornado emergency warning on this storm as it moves into Georgia. So the tornado warning has now been canceled for Chambers and Randolph. So all clear for Chambers and Randolph in Alabama. The warning continues for southern Heard and northern Troup on this very dangerous tornado that is observed and on the ground. It is now in west central Georgia. Also, heads up LaGrange. Though the tornado warning is for the storm in the northern part of the county, you have a very significant thunderstorm, and it is severe. Moving into downtown LaGrange at this hour, that storm could certainly produce a tornado at any moment. It most likely is producing damaging straight-line winds of 60 to 70 miles per hour. That's as much as a small tornado. So if you're in downtown LaGrange, you need to go to cover. Take your place of cover right now as this storm moves into downtown LaGrange. So there you see it on the screen. The Weather Service has allowed the tornado warning in Chambers and Randolph to be canceled. I'll zoom out and show you that we have severe thunderstorm warnings covering this entire line. We actually now have a new severe thunderstorm warning up here in northeast Georgia, but that's going to be up there in northern Habersham and Rabun counties of northeast Georgia, basically from about Tallulah Falls all the way up to around Clayton. That is a severe thunderstorm warning. And then we don't have anything all the way down to just south of Atlanta. We pick up with that severe thunderstorm warning down here in places like Franklin up towards central Hatchie. That's up in Heard County. And then we have that tornado warned storm just south of Denver. That's in Heard County, stretching down to just north of Holiday Park. Maybe about 10 miles north of Holiday Park is where that possible tornado is taking place. And then we have a very heavy storm, which is beginning to take on the same characteristics as that tornadic storm, now moving into downtown LaGrange. So I would go ahead and consider that a tornado warning for downtown LaGrange as well. Officially, you are inside the polygon, so I'd be going to my safe place if I'm in downtown LaGrange as this storm moves through. And then we continue with a severe thunderstorm warning for the southern half of Troup County and the northern half of Harris County. Back in Alabama, we have a severe thunderstorm warning now for Lee County, places like Auburn, Opelika, Beans Mill. You have that line of thunderstorms coming at you from the west. That severe thunderstorm warning stretches up into Chambers County from Lafayette back up to just south of Holiday Park. Things are improving in northern Chambers, though it is still raining pretty heavily in some locations. Heavy rain continues in Tallapoosa County from New Site back over to Budston down to around Waverly and Camp Hill. But over here in western Tallapoosa County and back over into Coosa County, the rain is coming to an end, and the severe weather threat has ended over here as well. For the most part, the severe weather threat has ended for Randolph County, though you still have very heavy rain back toward Lake Wedowee and up toward Gray Hill and Newell. Heavy rain continues in eastern sections of Clay, but the rain is subsiding in western Clay. Rain is completely stopped over here at Sylacauga and Talladega. And then as we look up toward I-20, same thing there, very heavy rainfall up toward Ranburne. Then back off to the west, Anniston, Oxford, rain has stopped. Birmingham, it's not raining over there. Temperature will start to fall behind this line, and we may see a snow shower or two tomorrow morning as the really cold air filters in behind this line of thunderstorms. So, folks, we're going to wrap up our live coverage. Atlanta is picking up that coverage now for Troup County. So if you've been watching Dr. Don's live severe weather coverage, I invite you to switch over to your favorite Atlanta television station as they are providing live wall-to-wall coverage of this storm coming through LaGrange at this hour and can keep you updated on that. For those of you across East Alabama that have been following us this afternoon, if you have damage in your area, please send me a text message and let me know so that we can report out on that in our weather update tomorrow morning here on Dr. Don's Weather. Thanks for joining us this afternoon. If you have a chance to support us, we certainly ask that you do so by going to our website at drdon.